긴 경기장 도시형.
All right, guys, here we are on the map Daybreak, and down at the bottom of the map, winning the last game, taking out Marine King, is none other than Team Liquid's own TLO. And up at the top of the map, in the red from the Team Prime, the most methodical, careful, devastating Protoss player that you could possibly hope, or not hope, to meet on the ladder or in a game, it is Creator.Prime.
And have fun, good effing luck from TLO, GG/GL, or
Yep.
GL.
Hey, remember, that's what Creator.Prime always does,
Yeah.
GG/GL. It's like, you pick one. Creator.Prime, he only lets you have one of those. You can either have a good game, or you can have good luck, and you know what? Either one of those is going to help you.
That's true. I see. Now, if
not
I
biased
ever
at all.
find myself in a hypothetical scenario against Creator.Prime, I'm going to come back with good luck. That's what I choose. So,
all right.
but
It's a good choice.
I'd rather it be a bad game and I crush them. So
Yeah.
maybe that's just me.
There you go.
All right, so here we go, guys. And, you know, we found out some interesting things about Daybreak recently. So
Yeah,
we'll talk about
tested
that a
this.
little bit.
Well, some of you may have noticed this in the GSL Codas round of 16 from last week. There was a point in time where it was coincidentally Marine King was shooting at a creep tumor on the high ground, and the only way he was able to do that is by having vision via the Zelnaga tower. So so that's Zelnaga tower there. Now it happened on the other side of the map, but it works
okay,
here
we can
too.
do that. We'll do
okay,
that.
well, there you go.
Right.
Zelnaga tower there. If you have that Zelnaga tower, scroll down a little bit, you get vision of the little corner of the high ground right about there. Yeah, so you can actually build a pylon if you want to, and warp stuff in there as well. Now, obviously, the pylon will be close enough that they can see things from the high ground, so it's still risky, but it's kind of one of those little interesting features of a map that not a lot of people know about, that the Zelnaga Tower gives you vision of just a tiny bit of that high ground there. So maybe that's something we'll see players exploit in the future.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, especially when players are sitting on 2 base, most of their units are here anyway, so there's a possibility that could be out of range. You can get something in there undetected.
And it works on both sides as well. Both sides of the map have that.
Right.
Yep.
Well, Creator, he decides to Forge first, and then Nexus after that. TLO, on the other hand, put down a 12 pool, and then expanded afterwards. So, a little bit earlier pool, a little bit earlier Queen for him as well.
Yep. Wants to make sure he stays safe. No gas quite yet, though, so I wonder if we're going to see him try to take that fast third base like we see a lot of Zergs like DRG do. Seems like something that's pretty popular in Zerg versus Protoss these days.
Yeah, you know, TLO's a very creative player as well. Whenever he was playing Terran, you were just as likely to see nukes as you were Marines in games.
Yep.
And we'll see if that's, is going to move over to him playing Zerg as well. I think he played a great creative style in the last game as well. But, this go around, it's a completely different story. As, you mentioned he's going up against a very methodical Protoss player, a guy who loves his double Forge builds. And looks like TLO is, in fact, going to expand to his third.
Yep, there we go. So he's going to take that third. I think that's a good decision. I think this is really what we're going to see most Zerg players do against Protoss players that go either Forge Expand or Nexus first Forge Expand. You're not going to be under a lot of pressure lately. Even if the Protoss gets a double gas like we see Creator.Prime doing right now, you just can't get the Void Rays there early enough to deal with the third base. If you notice a lot of the old Zerg strategies, when that third base got up, it was about the time the Void Ray was coming too. So a lot of times you'd see Zergs have to cancel their thirds and things like that. So now we see Zerg players saying, all right, I'm just going to wait on gas. I'm going to wait on tech for a little bit, get that third base even quicker when I know they can't do anything about it, and then make sure I can kind of keep that little edge in economy. And that's been working out pretty well for Zerg players lately. So I think this is going to be kind of the standard on maps like this for a while.
Well, Creator is well aware of that third right now, as he did send out over a scout to check it out. So, Probe making his way back home, and this poor Zergling will die as he makes his way up the ramp. But the scouting is done. We'll see. I'm more curious what TLO has seen from his opponent so far, as we know that there is Sentry coming up. He sees one gas, but nothing else afterwards. So.
Yeah. Saw what he needed to as far as the Forge goes and things like that. Oh no, that Overlord.
Aww.
A little bit far from home, and I don't think he's going to get to that high ground anytime soon. No.
Unfortunately not.
Poor guy.
Just a few more shots and he will be down.
Oh.
But, let's see here. I'm not going to watch his death. It's too much to bear. Okay, he's down. Let's see here now. TLO does have double gas up at the moment, producing 3 more Overlords now, but it's not given us an indication of his tech quite yet. Creator, on the other hand, a second and third gate coming up with +1 weapons.
Oh, okay. All right. so you could see some kind of gateway stuff. I haven't seen a lot of Creator.Prime's Protoss versus Zerg, so I don't really have a good sense of what he likes to do stylistically in this matchup. Most of the games I've seen him do, he's gone Stargate, but it doesn't look like he's going to be doing that in this one, or at least not a very fast Stargate. No, actually, there's the Twilight Council, so it could definitely be some sort of blink play. Otherwise, he may decide to get charged pretty quickly as well, but most likely going to be some sort of blink +2 timing, I think. I feel like PVZ is his weakest matchup, so we tend to see him do a lot of like 2-based timings and things like that, which is usually a sign of a Protoss player that in a certain matchup, you know, they haven't quite gotten the hang of it fully yet, so they're doing things that they know are just really good and strong. Yeah, and there's 3 more gateways, so that should bring it up to 6 then total.
Yes, it is.
And probably going to see that +2 and blink pretty soon.
There's blink, and we're just going to wait on +2 whenever, of course, this +1 finishes up. So looks like you're dead on. We do have that big push coming out here in a bit. He's got quite a few sentries to help manage the field as well. TLO did decide to put up a Roach Warren now, and he's got layer tech and a smattering of upgrades on the way. Already has quite a few lings. Link speed is, of course, not done yet because he did invest in a lot of other things with because he was so late to gas for quite a while. And there's 6 roaches on the way.
It's good to have some lings out there. Oh, and he finds the pylon right away. Yeah, TLO playing this really, really smart. Just being active out there. Finding those pylons is so hugely helpful.
And we'll see how Creator reacts to that. That's a lot of lings, but that's a lot of sentries and stalkers. And yeah, those lings are going to have to turn around and go back home. However, let's see. TLO has his first 6 roaches on the field. He's got roach speed on the way. That +1 carapace is getting finished. But on the flip side, Creator actually going to a 3rd. A 7th gate hallucination and +2.
Yeah, he's changing things up a little bit. Not quite going for that 6th gate. Could be, too, that he lost the pylon and decided not to go for it as well. That's also a possibility. That sentry gave me extra safety force field just to be safe, you know. There's a Robo.
I promise you, you're not going to get in. Yeah, we do have Robo coming up now, so be able to use some vision for blinking and then move into a lot more different cool units as well. Mortals or Colossi here in a bit. TLO already going after the destructible debris, sees a lot of sentries and wants to mitigate force field abilities for a while. Always finding a way to run directly into this army, though.
Yeah, and Creator.Prime needs to be careful here because he's in a situation where he could get sandwiched in by these Zerglings. That's exactly what TLO wants to try, but nope. Just ends up drawing a few force fields there. And he could counterattack the natural right now as well.
It looks like that is what he's doing. All right, he's going to work his way right up to the front. That kind of forces Creator's units apart a little bit. Cybernetics core is actually going to fall pretty quickly. Now we have the rest of the reinforcements making their way. And the Cybernetics core has fallen, though. And the sentries are sitting in the back, but their energy is starting to dwindle a little bit. And these are so many roaches making their way through that the sentries are starting to go down.
What a great timing for TLO. Killing that Cybernetics core, too, means that there can only be Zealots produced now by Creator.Prime for a while, and you know what? Roaches are pretty good against Zealots, so as soon as these Stalkers get cleaned up, TLO's going to be in great shape. Oh, that's a lot of roaches, too.
Yes, it is, and Creator says, build another Cybernetics core. Ha! How about a Dark Shrine first? And that's what he's putting up at the moment, but these Stalkers sitting behind these buildings are going to be a lot more powerful, but now the roaches are just starting to flood their way through. TLO looks like he thinks he has enough as he does dispatch of the Zealots pretty quickly, starting to force back those Stalkers as well.
He might. Cannon goes down, and just more roaches and lings flooding in here.
Yeah,
I think Creator.Prime definitely in panic mode right now.
Wow, that's so many roaches coming up as well, and Overseer on top as well, so those cloaked units will not hurt here in a bit. Our first Immortal is coming up, but there are 13 roaches being produced at a time. TLO just continuing to flood in. Probes are being pulled off the line once again. He's attacking down at the 3rd as well and just going through the units there out of the range of the Photon Cannon. Looks like Creator finally realizes it, but it may have been a case of too little too late.
Yeah, well, he is doing a good job of kind of trying to clean this up, but he's lost so many probes that even if somehow he magically manages to take down the roaches, he's still going to be way behind. But yeah, with the reinforcements, I don't think Creator.Prime is going to be able to handle this.
Wow, yeah, TLO just keeps flooding in unit after unit. It looks like he may be in a position to take a 2nd game against Prime. There it is.
Wow, yeah, showing Creator.Prime the burrow. Creator.Prime's like, I have no detection. Your units are just going to heal. That is it for me. I've lost nearly all my probes. And wow, Liquid TLO